Greetings and namaskar. We express our heartfelt gratitude to all our partners who have made time to be here. We are deeply grateful and thank you so much. We welcome you to the International Conference in London, Uniting Management and Technology for Sustainable Growth at the Birkbeck campus, University of London, Global Synergy 2025. We have several partners right in front of us and a few online. Once we introduce them, we will show them to you. And let's start with a little bit of positivity. We always like to start with this virtual diya or lamp lighting. It symbolizes the triumph of knowledge over ignorance, hope over despair, and light over darkness. This ritual is particularly significant in inaugurating events, essentially inviting positive energies and wisdom. At the outset, we would like to start with thanking and expressing our gratitude to the pillars of the conference. Professor Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, the Honorable Founder President, Ritanan Blalved Education Foundation. Our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Amity University. And of course, our very respected Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh. Thank you so much, sir. A Tulsi sapling signifies growth and friendship. We express a token of gratitude with a virtual sapling to all our partners. It is my pleasure to invite the conference co-chair, Dr. Lumi Vasai, the principal of Amity University in London. Ma'am, may we request you for your address. Hello.
Good morning, everybody, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, students, and friends. Welcome to the conference organized by my colleagues from India office, especially Professor Gurinder Singh, which leads this team. I think this is a 15th conference, or if I am right. So every year we have this gathering to exchange ideas. This conference today, it is based on technology, innovation, and sustainability. Three driving forces which will affect higher education in UK and globally. We are coming at a time today which is very crucial for the sector, facing incredible challenges that require smart solution, collaboration, innovation, and visionary leadership. Financial pressure, shifting policy, continuous evolving students' expectation require university to adapt, innovate, and unite in their mission to provide this transformative education. As we are reflecting in these challenges today, we must acknowledge the visionaries, those people which actually transform institution in center of excellence. Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the founder president of Amity University, Dr. Amita Chauhan, those unparalleled foresight, strategic brilliance, and incredible dedication to education has propelled Amity Education Group on the global scene. on higher education. Their leadership is not short of transformative, bringing together academic excellence, international collaboration, innovation, while ensuring that education remains the driving force for progress. Their work exemplify actually the highest sense of what higher education must strive to. Adaptive thinking and innovation in everything we do. Our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, working with a Chancellor, it's a dream come true. His incredible vision, dynamic leadership, unconditional support, and deep understanding of higher education and global economy have actually created an environment where knowledge flourishes and leadership is refined. It's an extraordinary privilege for me to be part of his team, but also it's an incredible opportunity for me that I am so grateful to be part of this transformation and this journey which enhance my knowledge, my understanding, and my leadership and approaches to transformative education. Of course, higher education cannot come on isolation. The most disturbing force that affect the sector today, it is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not just a tool. It is a paradigm shift, which requires institutions to rethink how we teach, how we assess, and how we engage with knowledge. It challenges the traditional academic structure and require institutions to adopt new methodology and new strategy, innovative thinking, ethics, consideration in its integration safely in our learning and research. Artificial intelligence is today providing us lots of opportunities. However, there are incredible challenges attached. And it is our duty to drive this transformation with wisdom and foresight. Hand in hand with this, it's sustainability, but not only on the environmental sense, institutional sustainability or educational sustainability. The institution must ensure that sustainable approaches are embedded in our curriculum, research, governance. Whether we are talking about climate change concerns or we are dealing with financial sustainability, where we are advising students how to deal with this kind of issue on a global stage, we must take bold action and come up with collaborative solution. Innovation must be embedded in everything we do, from pedagogy to leadership, from research to governance. And again, the university must think in a different way, must unite, must work within interdisciplinary collaboration to ensure that they can remain relevant, sustainable, while they are still providing this transformative education. The mission from all of us is pretty tough in these times. But this conference is an opportunity for all of us to exchange ideas, to challenge assumptions, and by the end, to come up with a vision how we will lead in the future our institution based on technology, innovation, and visionary leadership. Before I end, I would like to extend my gratitude to my colleagues from India office, especially Professor Garinda Singh, for organizing this event again. And their tireless work make us the space to discuss, debate, and research. I'm sure that working together and employing innovative solutions, we can find a way to lead our institution to a higher education which is defined by technology, innovation, and sustainability. I hope you are going to have a very stimulative time today and you will enjoy the next session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your distinguished address. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to invite our respected Group Vice Chancellor of all Amity Universities, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, for his distinguished address. Thank you, sir.
What a historical day when we are getting an honor to welcome some of the stalwarts of the entire world, especially from UK, in this very prestigious conference, which we are hosting for the 15th time in London. And it reminds me the words of our founder, who is watching you live and who is welcoming all of you, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, and our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan. And MIT is having today 13 universities worldwide. All 13 vice chancellors are watching. All campuses are watching you live. On behalf of everyone, we welcome each one of you in this very prestigious conference. I'm rushing from New York, where we had a similar event, where we saw IEEE USA, Springer, Princeton, NYU, and some of the leading universities of the world who are our collaborators, who are our partners, coming together and creating an ecosystem which can help students, which are most important for us, for whom we day and night work, for whom we want that they should have a wonderful career to become successful in life. A very small brief. I think that quite a few of you who are our partners, they already know us. We have met you across the globe. You have visited MIT campuses. But those who are coming and meeting us for the first time, MIT is a dream child of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, who, after spending more than 3 decades in Europe, came back to Asia with one mission, with one aim, that we should be able to create a group which should make a difference into the life of the students. Our motive was very simple: to create a university which is research driven, to create a university which can give a meaningful career to the students across the globe. We can bring the innovation and then we can nurture the entrepreneurship. And you will find that this is very much reflected in the values of MIT. At MIT, when we started up, we were the only university of the entire Asia which was making foreign business language compulsory for all students. So the vision was very, very clear that we wanted our students to be globally competitive. As we grew, we started giving options to our all students, 250,000 students, which we have today, and 13 universities in India, largest network of universities in India, and also 16 foreign campuses abroad. But wherever our students are, we are giving them option one, that they can take one language. And secondly, they can go to any of our campuses and to our partners abroad. I was reminded by quite a few of you that amazing 100 students who are here on the study abroad program, they will be visiting quite a few of you. And that's what the basic purpose of MIT is, to bring students from different parts of the world, take them to the different countries, bringing industry to them and taking them to the industry, taking them to the various universities and see that how they can be complementary to each other. We are really honored that we have got a case center which has been sponsoring this conference year after year, and a large number of researchers, they are presenting their cases. But thank you so very much for the wonderful work you are doing across the globe and supporting MIT University to create some of the world-class cases now which we are being videographed. We are really honored with the presence of uh, Professor Colin, who is the Secretary General and CEO of Association of Commonwealth Universities, a great academician. I would say a person whom not only the people respect a lot, but take you as a role model. We are really honored that we are exploring that how we can work together and can host one of the leading conferences of ACU with MIT. Give a huge applause to him, please. Professor Phil, who is not only a great orator, moderator, CEO of THE, but a good friend. We always take a lot of inspiration from him. When he came, he was saying that I was not in a suit today. So I said that if you will stand, you will stand apart. And you will witness that when he speaks with such conviction. You can give him any topic and he can speak on that topic. The way he interviews, his role model for hundreds and thousands of students. Bringing industry and academia together has been the passion of THE. Give a huge applause to Professor Phil Battle. Our very good friend, Vicky Lester, Professor Vicky Lester, for whom we have got tremendous respect. I remember that the years back when we thought that we will have a world-class case center, we looked at Professor Vicky Lester, and she was the one who said that if MIT wants to contribute, if MIT wants to create their own case center, I will be the first one to support it. We created case centers in many of our universities, but good to see that always coming forward to support students and researchers, and large number of researchers, they are presenting their cases in this conference. We're very honored with your presence. Give a huge applause to her. We saw Pi coming up at the word stage, and I got a privilege of meeting some of the leaders in India uh, in January when you organized the event. And yesterday I had a very good discussion with the CEO, Miss Amy Baker. Uh, I was impressed. I was deeply impressed when she told me the calendar of events. It's not easy because I keep on traveling from one country to another. But she kept on speaking that from here to US to Dubai to Singapore to India, uh, I don't know that where all they are organizing, but I think the world is changing very, very fast. As our very able principal, Dr. Lumi, was saying, that the passion of MIT is that we should be able to contribute into the growth of our students. And not only from Asia, but in the other parts of the world. And that is why Dr. Chauhan created so many universities. We wanted always that we should be able to give that kind of platform. So I think wonderful work by Pi by bringing so many universities together and at the same time also bringing industry together. Those who are present here, you may be knowing that MIT is trying to create a network of industries and companies where we should be able to provide meaningful internship experience to our students. So quite a few students who are coming on the study abroad program, we want that from the next year when you are coming up, then you should be interacting more with the companies along with the academic partners who are coming and who are giving you the lectures. Because I think the more they will be able to understand that how they are going to contribute to the industry, the better they would be. And I think the PI has to play a very important role. Please give a huge applause to Ms. Baker. And hopefully next year we will be doing something together. Dr. Julia, President and Vice Chancellor of Yorkville University, who was with us only 15, 17 days back in India. Again, our intention is that we should be able to bring various universities together. And in Canada, we are working very closely with them. We are honored with the presence of Professor Jarvis, Pro Vice Chancellor of Partnership from the University of London. As you know, that we work very closely with them. And we have some programs which we're running in Singapore. We are looking at Dubai and also now exploring that what we can do together in other universities. But really privileged that you are here. Give a huge applause to him, please. Professor Kiran Trehan, the Pro Vice Chancellor of York, who's representing Professor Charlie, who is a Vice Chancellor of York. Under the new education policy, Professor Phil, you know it better, that India is trying to have the talent from various parts of the world to come and establish their campuses. And we feel so proud that when York said that they are going to come to India, we said that we will provide all possible support to them. Very happy that they are coming, and then we will be able to help them wherever, whichever capacity they need a help from us. MIT is today one of the largest education groups of the world. We have got 29 campuses in India, 13 universities. So I think the vision of the government is that any university which comes in, then the senior universities in India, they should be able to hold their hand. We'll be very happy that any one of you, those universities who are sitting, who want to come to India, if you would need any assistance, any help, any support, we will be able to offer. We have been working with each one of you. And with such a great base of 250,000 students, I think that we will be able to give you a platform where you can talk to our students and can have a meaningful interaction and can give them the meaningful inputs. Give a huge applause to her. We are honored with the presence of Professor Neil, who is representing Nottingham Trent University as a Dean of Research. We know the kind of reputation you have and you enjoy. We're very happy that not only that with NTU, we have got research linkages, academic linkages, but we are doing many research projects together. So I think the one of the most important things on which MIT and some of the leading universities are focusing is that we not only teach, but we should be able to strengthen our research and linkages with some of the leading companies of the world. Under the UKRI, under the Turing, under the Go Global Grant Scheme, I think we have done a number of projects, and we want that with each one of you, we should take further steps to strengthen those linkages. Give a huge applause to him. We are really honored with the presence of Professor Robin. We were together 10 days back in India, and I think that I was flying that day to US. As you know, that uh, University of Sussex is one of the leading universities of the world, which is focusing on research. We want that we should be able to create some good research linkages and also academic linkages with them. And Professor Banerjee and their Vice Chancellor and other leadership team, they were very kind that they have been coming to MIT. They are going to our various campuses across the globe and helping us to grow further. Give a huge applause to him, please. Professor Surita, the Pro Vice Chancellor of University of Roehampton, very warm welcome to you. I think that one of the major things which we are trying to do is that creating a global network with the universities where we can see that how each university is focusing on their core values. So we sat with them, we sat with the chancellor. I got a chance to welcome their vice chancellor in India and looked at some of the priority areas where we can focus. Please give a huge applause to her. Very happy that today we also have University of Westminster with whom we are signing an MOU, a great team. we work in various locations together. In Tashkent, you have got a campus. We have got a campus. In London, you have got a wonderful university. We have got our research centers and our campus. But we want to further develop our linkages for all times to come. Very happy that we are signing an MOU with them. Give a huge applause to Westminster. Very happy that further exploring new areas with University of Sussex and also with Nottingham Trent University and also with PI signing a new MOU, which will not only create excellent opportunities for students of MIT, but also opportunities for the students from across the globe. But from the bottom of my heart, thankful to each one of you that you are coming here. Special thanks to IEEE and to Springer. Their observers are sitting here. We will be hosting, we just concluded one very prestigious conference in US, and I was told by Professor Green, uh, uh, the CEO of the IEEE US, that this is for the first time any Indian university went to New York to create and do a IEEE sponsored research conference. I remember that 15 years back, a similar thing we did in London, that we became the first university to hold a research conference with IEEE here. So bottom of our heart, Case Center, Springer, IEEE, Taylor and Francis, for all partners who are sitting here on behalf of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, our very visionary chancellor, who has studied in London. So you can very well understand that kind of affection he has. I still remember that when the campus was being created, we were standing here and that looking at that how our library should look like. So we took the photographs of Senate House Library. So many of you who have come to India, you will find that our library is very much similar to the Senate House Library. But we take inspiration from some of the top universities of India, of the world, and trying to see that how we can have best practices across the globe in our all campuses. Today, MIT is relevant in 16 countries, 13 universities in India, 16 campuses worldwide with 250,000 students, largest number of patents in India, one third of which are commercialized. But above all, I think the vision is that whatever we do for community. At the end of the day, if we are able to do and make a difference into the life of these students and can make them employable and can make them successful, can make them wonderful human beings, we feel that we are successful. With those words, once again, truly grateful to each one of you. Thank you so very much. Please coming. We're a very young university. We're just 30-year-old. But then we want that we should be amongst the best in the world. Keep on inspiring us. Keep us giving your blessings. Keep us giving your good wishes. And we know that we will be able to do something extraordinary on which all of you as our partners will feel so proud. Thank you so very much. My special appreciation to the organizing team, which is here, Dr. Anupma and Dr. Prakhar, if you can stand. I think that from the last 1 month, they are in UK helping us to do wonderful networking and organize things. Also, a team which is at the Group Vice Chancellor's office, which works day and night, and also want to acknowledge the presence of many of our friends who are sitting here. Uh, 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 Mr. Aditya Malkhani, who is specially flying from India and is a regional director of the Association of Commonwealth Universities. Keep on applauding for all of them. They have really helped us. Professor Marcus, who's a director from the University of Sussex, Dr. Karen Jackson from the University of Westminster, uh, Professor Gemma, who's the director of from the Global Engagement, Ms. Jenny, Director of Global Business Development, University of London, Mr. Mike, who's the Director of International Affairs, University of London, Professor Stephen, who's the Director of NTU, observers from IEEE, our researchers from Springer, and of course, our very charming, amazing students from across the globe. Thankful to each one of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your distinguished address. It is now my pleasure to invite Professor Phil Beatty, Chief Global Affairs Officer, Times Higher Education, and Director General of Education World Forum. Sir, thank you so much.
That's not me, by the way.
Just trying.
I'm just passing through, actually, because I'm the Director General of the Education World Forum. I've been called into meetings. We have 150 ministers joining us from around the world in London on Sunday. So I'm just passing through, but I felt I had to come in and say a big thank you to Brinda. I've known Amity for a very long time. I've known Atul and consider Atul a friend. I've known him for well over a decade. And actually that decade has been an extraordinary one from my perspective to see the growth, to see the innovation of the university. I think in those early days in India, you would meet with some of the traditional universities and there'd be a sense of coldness. Who is this upstart? You know, they were disruptors. They were a private sector, not-for-profit university. There was a little bit of standoffishness. And actually, they were coming in as disruptors. And I think Atul spoke at one of our events many years ago in Dublin and talked about the power of the private sector to disrupt the market in India, to bring innovation, to bring healthy competition, to create a mixed economy of universities. And they've really shown that dynamism, that agility, that innovation. Also in the United Kingdom, Amity was a partner for us on our awards for many years. And it was at the early days when the UK system was trying to open up from being a little bit of a closed sector. Let's be more open to innovation. Lord David Willits, who was the universities minister at the time, I actually met him just last week. And we were talking about Amity, that this idea that actually he wanted to open the sector in the UK to more competition, to more diversity of providers. And Amity, again, was a pioneer, was a leader, was coming into the UK sector. And obviously here we are today celebrating the London footprint of this great global institution. I'm intimidated, Professor Singh, because you said I was a great speaker. I haven't prepared any words and I'm rushing off. So I hope I can just wrap up and just extend a huge warm hand of friendship to the Amity Group. A thank you to Atul, of course, for being such a long-term friend of Times Higher, and to all of you to wish you the very, very best for a really stimulating event. So thank you so much indeed. Pleasure to be here.
So since Phil has to go, can we just honor him with a short?
So much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I have to rush.
Please allow me to break the flow for a minute. And can we just, as a University of Westminster has to leave, sir, if you will allow me to break the flow, can we just sign the Westminster MOU because the university team has to leave? Is that a possibility? We would then request the University of Sussex also to sign their MOU right now so that it can just go in a flow. Thank you so much. Can you just-
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we have a huge round of applause? Professor Robin Banerjee, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Global and Civic Engagement, University of Sussex, signing this fantastic MOU with us. Thank you so much. You'll be here for some time. May we request the team of Nottingham Trent University to please, led by Professor Neil Mansfield, Professor and Executive Dean, Research and International Reputation, Nottingham Trent University, to please come on the dais for the MOU signing. Thank you so much. May I request Ms. Amy Baker, CEO of the PI, Professionals in International Education, to please come on the dais for the MOU signing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Vicky, let's We'll go back to the original flow of the program. May I request Professor Colin Riordan, Secretary General and CEO, Association of Commonwealth Universities. Thank you so much for taking time out to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you all for being here, particularly Professor Govinda for the invitation. We had a very warm meeting in January, which I recall with great fondness. We've had a long relationship, actually, as have many others in this room, with Amity University. My phone is failing to cooperate. There we are. There are two of the 13 Amity University campuses. Universities are members of ACU, the University, Amity University Rajasthan and Amity University Noida, where the ACU held a well-attended round table year before last, actually, 2023, on digitalization and the future of work in the global economy. Really important topic, as is the topic today as well. And that was hosted by the VC, Professor Balvinder Shukla, who I know from my time as Vice Chancellor of Cardiff University. And during COVID, we held a conference that was meant to be in person, but clearly couldn't be, on the challenges of the pandemic for universities, again, jointly with Amity. So it's been a long-standing, active and warm relationship, and we very much value, and we look forward to working together, as you mentioned, Professor Govinda, on our next event in due course. The ACU, for those of you who don't know, we're an association of 400 universities across the Commonwealth. We're the Association of Commonwealth Universities. And our aim is to support and strengthen our member universities, to foster international collaboration, which is exactly what Amity, of course, does, and to support sustainable development. And despite the headwinds, sustainable development remains a huge challenge for humanity. It's not going to go away as a challenge just because there are significant difficulties at the moment. And what has to underlie sustainable development is sustainable growth, the topic for today. And that means sustainable economic growth. And that's an area where universities do play an absolutely key role, not only through education and research, but also by using their convening power, as Amity does and is right now, as we speak, and to offer leadership and to create public value. That's what universities do, and that's what we do try to do across our network with our members. There are technical issues like the reform of the global financial architecture, which is going to be essential to allow more consistent economic growth around the world in a fairer way that will actually then be sustainable. And we at the ACU play a role in this through our higher education task force, which we have put together at the request of the Commonwealth Secretariat. And one of the elements of that is to really, or the aim of the task force is to develop policy proposals for the Commonwealth that can be adapted by the relevant ministers for their purposes as required. And of course, we will be having meeting with many of those ministers at the Education World Forum that Phil Beatty mentioned earlier on, which is taking place next week in London. And we've commissioned research on the link between investment in tertiary education, and I mean actual investment, not just expenditure, because in this case it really is investment, and we can show the return in terms of economic growth that creates for each of the countries in the Commonwealth, and we're very much looking forward to concluding and announcing that research at our conference in Nairobi at the end of November. So we support our universities in terms of their activity in this way, but we also offer direct support as well, because we manage and issue a whole range of scholarships, including a very new program called the King's Commonwealth Fellowship Program. King Charles asked us, the ACU, to develop a new scholarship program aimed at the small island developing states, of which there are 24 in the Commonwealth, mostly in the Pacific and in the Caribbean, but also in the Indian Ocean. So we have Mauritius, Seychelles, and Maldives fall into that category as well. And we've formed a network now of over 20 universities in high-income countries who are supporting and working with partners in the SIDS, in the small island developing states, with those universities to upskill both academics at universities with PhDs and also civil servants with PhDs. We're working on undergraduate scholarships as well, and professional development. And at the moment, we've been working with 20 universities across our network. There's definitely room for more who'd like to get involved. So I'll perhaps talk to Professor Gurinder about that separately. So there is an opportunity there. And we do find ourselves actually in a position where we're able to directly support developing states get the economic growth they need through developing skills, education, and capacity in ways that they would otherwise be more difficult. So we're very proud to do that, and we're very proud to do that kind of activity with Amity, and I hope that will continue into the future. Thank you very much again for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much for a wonderful address. May I request the next speaker, our very favorite and favored partner, Ms. Vicky Lester, CEO, the Case Center. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you all. Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, he's just disappeared from the end. There you are, keeping me on my toes. Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Dr. Lumi Basu, Dr. Anupama Rajesh, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our future leaders in the world. Absolutely a privilege to be with you and those joining us online. Delighted to be here at the Global Synergy 2025, where we explore the intersection of management and technology for sustainable growth. Those of you that don't know me, I've been CEO for the Case Centre for the last 3 years almost, but my career has been at the Case Centre since I left school. But I was pleased when Dr. Gurinder Singh mentioned 30 years earlier being very young. So when I actually look back on my career, sometimes I think I feel really old because I've been at the Case Centre for over 30 years, but actually I'm feeling very young at the moment. So I'm taking that. At the Case Centre, we're a not-for-profit registered charity, and we're all about promoting and advancing the case method in business and management education. And we have global reach with our activities, but that's purely why we exist. Some of the challenges that we've already been hearing this morning are what we're facing when we're serving the HE community. That's the sector we're serving. So very challenging times for us as a charity as well. There's some great professionals and global leaders in the room. Any advice, recommendations, greatly welcome and appreciated in that space. So today with this opportunity, I wanted to delve into how the case method not only enhances learning, but also fosters innovation and sustainability in business education. In our rapidly evolving world where technology change and sustainability is paramount, the case method stands as a pillar of adaptable learning. It empowers students to analyse real-world challenges, from ethical dilemmas to market disruptions, preparing them to navigate complexities in today's business landscape. Though the case method is over 100 years old, so perhaps feeling very old, it's quite an antique, I personally believe it's more relevant and vital than ever before. In an age of unprecedented uncertainty and rapid change, the skills it cultivates, critical thinking, decision-making under pressure, and the ability to analyse complex situations are exactly what students need to thrive in a world that's constantly shifting. The enduring power of the case method lies in its ability to prepare students not just for what is, but for what could be. helping them face adversity and uncertainty with confidence. Management in the digital age is not just about efficiency, it's about strategic adaptation. The case method equips students with the critical thinking and problem-solving skills needed to integrate technology seamlessly into management practices. And by immersing themselves in diverse case scenarios, students learn to harness technology's transformative power responsibly and sustainably. And sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's a fundamental principle driving global agendas. The case method, with its focus on real-world scenarios, enables students to explore sustainable business practices firsthand. So whether it's optimizing supply chains, implementing renewable energy solutions, or fostering inclusive growth, it encourages innovative thinking that aligns business objectives with environmental and social goals. And one of the case method's greatest strengths lies in its ability to bridge theory and practice. By engaging with real cases, students gain practical insights that go beyond the textbook knowledge. They learn from successes and failures alike, developing a deeper understanding of how management theories apply in dynamic, technology-driven economies and environments. So as a not-for-profit registered charity, we at the Case Centre, we're deeply committed to promoting, shaping and advancing the case method in management education. Our purpose is to ensure that the case method continues to be a transformative tool for faculty and students around the world. With our global reach, we serve as a key resource for faculty across the globe, providing access to an extensive library of cases, many resources, products and services, supporting them in integrating the case method into their teaching. In addition to our global efforts, Amity University plays a pivotal role in the development of cases that not only reflect global perspectives, but also focus on making business education relatable for students worldwide. Absolutely. Their case development initiatives ensure that real-world scenarios are approached both with global insights as well as local relevance. And this focus allows students from different regions to connect with the material, understand challenges in their own contexts, and apply their learning to their unique environments. Amity's contribution significantly enriches the landscape of case-based learning, helping students gain a more comprehensive understanding of business in a globalised yet local world. Our relationship with Amity University goes back many years, and we deeply value and appreciate the collaboration and work we've done together, and also what's coming in the future. And through our shared efforts, we've fostered a powerful exchange of knowledge and insights, driving forward case development and furthering the impact of case-based learning on a global scale. And we look forward to continuing this partnership as we believe it will continue to shape the future management of education for years to come. So just to conclude and wrap this little bit up, as we look to the future of management and technology, let us recognise the case method as a cornerstone of education that prepares future leaders to tackle complex challenges sustainably. So all you students in the room, this is what it does for you. It's going to set you up. Even though it's a century-old methodology, its relevance continues to grow. It's actually thriving, and more adoption of it is happening around the globe, offering students the essential tools to navigate uncertainty and overcome adversity. And together we can unite management and technology for sustainable growth, fostering a global synergy that empowers us to build a brighter, more resilient future. Thank you very much for allowing me to share that with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that address. May I please now request Ms. Amy Baker, the CEO of the PI, Professionals in International Education, for her address. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Professor Gurinder Singh, all the Amity staff, thanks for inviting me to say a few words. So I'll first explain a little bit about the PI for those who don't know. What we do, we are a media and events company specialising in international education, and our mission is to transform knowledge and networks. We run events in India, the UK, Australia, Ireland, and the US, and we ran our first full conference in India this year, What we heard from all of our attendees was, what took you so long? We were very pleased to be able to run a conference there, and we are looking forward to going back next year. We see India as the engine of international education. So it's always been a country where so many students have sought to empower themselves and seek greater opportunities by studying abroad. But what we've really seen is a paradigm shift in the last decade in particular. After the advent of the NEP, we have seen so many international universities trying to engage and work with Indian institutions. And we really see a lot of dynamism and momentum from Indian education and companies such as Amity. It is such a country of innovation, momentum, and the realization to move fast and innovate. And that's why we are so interested at the PI to continue working with India and all of our readers who are universities, business schools, and international schools around the world. I thought I'd share a few statistics that were mentioned at our conference in January in Delhi. This is quoting Shashank Shah, who works at Niti Aayog Government Division, really looking at how to enable NEP to translate into opportunity. He said, "We are today the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with nearly 150,000 startups and 100+ unicorns. This is probably just the beginning. The growth is going to be phenomenal in the next 20 to 25 years. And this is what really strikes me as the opportunity that all of you, or these students of the future, this is what you have to consider being from the sort of powerhouse of India. If 5% of Indian students opt for entrepreneurship, and if 90% of them fail, the remaining startups will create 5 million direct and indirect jobs every year in India. So it really is an exciting opportunity. And not only do we have the NEP, which is enabling institutions to consider how to partner and make that easier in India, we also have the UK-India trade deal, which we're very excited about. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but this is 2-week-old news. This means it's going to make it easier for professionals to travel and work between each countries. There's a few key focuses. One is on cybersecurity. And of course, India is also such a leader in technology and industry. So we think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for UK-India collaboration in the cybersecurity space. Building on that technology, of course. And we also think there'll be, sorry, I'm just writing my notes. Of course, the education and mutual qualifications of education is building on the NEP. We see that in the UK-India trade deal. So we think there's a lot of opportunity in India and a lot of reasons to be very excited. We see a lot of Indian-born education companies and brands such as Amity, who are becoming true global players. We have SPJ and we have Amity, and then we actually have, there's a startup called Teta. My son's actually going to study with Teta starting in September. He'll be in Dubai in September, and then he'll be in India in January. So he has decided to study with an Indian university rather than a UK one. So we think there'll be a lot more of that. We think we'll see a lot more of that, and really we think the next decade or so is going to be a really fascinating and transformational decade, and we're very excited to play a part. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We are joined by very respected Dr. Julia Hodges, President and Vice Chancellor of Yorkville University. Ma'am, are you connected with us? I could see her.
I don't know what's, hold on.
Yes.
And
Welcome and thank you.
okay, good. All right. Can you hear me okay? All right. It's my absolute pleasure to be invited to join all of you today. And I just want to begin by saying what a true honor it is to hear from all of the speakers. And what I really love is the focus on disruption. And Professor Gurinder Singh, the statistics that you shared about Amity's rise are just so impressive. And as President and Vice Chancellor of a university in Canada, I know that we align so much on so many things, on the vision of higher education, the role it can play in society. But what you've managed to achieve in such a short period of time, you and your team, continues to inspire me. And I couldn't be more pleased to have the relationship that we're forming and the opportunities that we're pursuing. I also wanted to make a few comments about the other speakers. So I managed to meet Phil Beatty a number of years ago when I was challenging the metrics that many of the rankings, the prestigious rankings organizations were using. And this is when I was working with the United Nations. And I was really concerned that the rankings were incenting the wrong kinds of priorities across business schools in particular, and the type of research that they were doing that I didn't believe was aligned with sustainability. And I just wanted to share for the audience that Phil was a true leader in challenging himself, the Times Higher Ed rankings and metrics, and making sure that they put much more focus on sustainability, recognizing universities that were innovating in that space. So I do consider Phil a true innovator. For the other guests, Colin, I've been thinking for a long time about joining the Association of Commonwealth Universities, so your organization will be hearing from me shortly. And I was really moved by what you were sharing of the Commonwealth, of your association's commitment to doing research that really demonstrates the impact of higher education in society. We all know that universities across the Commonwealth, across Western society, are being challenged in unprecedented ways today. And it's just so critical that we have that kind of research that can, support our ongoing innovation and contribution to society. We know that without a strong university system, Western society and our democracy will be severely undermined. So I just want to congratulate you and your team for all that you're pursuing, and I'd love to be part of it. Vicky, the case method, I have to tell you, I was really reflecting on my own undergraduate experience. And in truth, how boring I found the first 3 years of my Bachelor of Commerce, and even wondering if I'd made a mistake. And then in the fourth year, finally, we were being taught through an engaging pedagogy of case study. And I finally felt that my skills were being honed, that my intellect was being recognized. And what I learned analyzing case after case after case absolutely set me up for a career of success. And the development of transferable foundational skills into the workplace. And for the students in the room, this is something that in my role as president, I continue to champion the disruption that is needed in the higher education system. Now that information is truly ubiquitous, everyone has access to so much information in their hand via their phone. It's remarkable to me to what extent so many universities continue to lecture. When the lecture came into being before the printing press, before broad-based literacy, as the primary means of teaching people things. So those days are long over. The research has shown absolutely convincingly for at least 100 years that a lecture of any more than about 10 minutes quickly loses its value. And maybe it's even shorter these days as attention spans and brains are being rewired in all kinds of ways. So it is through the case study. It is through one of your other guests mentioned internships or work integrated learning. And at Yorkville, one of the things we've innovated is the opportunity for students to be working full-time while they are pursuing university full-time by the opportunity to study 4 semesters a year as opposed to the standard practice of 2 semesters. So students can spread out their learning while they're working full-time. And one of the things I really love about this is that one of the biggest costs of pursuing higher education is the opportunity cost of not being able to work. Another cost that I think is going to become increasingly relevant is if you spend 4 or 5 years learning in an undergraduate program and do not have the opportunity to apply what you've learned will largely have become irrelevant by the time you graduate. And so the idea to be working alongside learning that provides the opportunity for direct implementation, for you to test the theory you've been exposed to hone your skills of discernment, to develop confidence in your ability to take what you're learning and truly make an impact. That's what I get excited about. So at Yorkville, we have what we call our 8 signature learning outcomes that are skills and values based aspect that we know like are layered into or fully integrated with any of our programs. So you're being exposed to disciplinary knowledge depending upon the profession that you wish to seek, but with so many opportunities to apply that learning. And one of the things that I really believe in that higher education must embrace is the explicit development of self-efficacy belief. We know this is a very challenging time for all of us, for administrators, for faculty, for students. There's so much uncertainty and strife in the world. So to develop the belief in our own ability to make a difference, to have impact, I think is one of the most valuable skills and attitudes that a student can leave our universities with. So we have made that an explicit goal of our learning. Okay, Amy, the role of PI, my goodness. I read everything you and your team write. We need voices that are courageous, voices that are brave. The entire journalism industry has been under so much pressure to sort of dumb down the message. And it's so critical that we have investigative journalists that are bravely raising important issues. It's more important than ever. And I'm so impressed that your child is choosing to go to India to study. I think this is going to be the future. We're going to see many more students from the West wanting experiences in Asia and vice versa. And to me, this is core to sustainability and effective supply chain when we're looking at true partnership, when there's a deep understanding of other cultures, of other languages, when we're very familiar with one another and can pursue those opportunities. And I do believe it is through sustainable business practice and economic engagement across countries that the world will finally get to a much more peaceful place. So I just did want to share some of those observations that I've gleaned from the other speakers. I'll just conclude by saying I really want to speak to the students in the room. When I was sitting where you were, I had no idea that one day I would have the privilege of becoming a faculty member, to becoming a dean of a business school. I had the honor of addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York on behalf of business schools that were aligned with a commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals. I had no idea I'd have the opportunity to become a university president and work hard to try to reform higher education, to do a better job to serve our students, and to get to work with all the incredible people who have been speaking with you today. I just share that story to say, when I was sitting where you were, my aspiration was to become a restaurant manager. So I had no idea where the skills I was learning as part of my undergraduate experience would lead to some managerial experience in the restaurant industry, to an MBA, to a PhD, to study organizations, to be inspired to want to help organizations improve their effectiveness. So if I have some lessons for you from my own experience is dare to dream. Create a personal vision for yourself. Don't say no to opportunities. And I already know you're doing that by the very fact that you're in the room. So I want to congratulate you, the students, for your vision, for daring to dream. And I'll just encourage you to keep doing that. I also know you're already developing resilience. Undoubtedly, you have experienced challenges in the pursuit of that vision. And as difficult as some of those challenges might have been, I just want to assure you that what you learned by looking those challenges in the face, figuring out how to overcome them, moving forward, those are core skills that will absolutely see you well throughout your life. And where that's leading is to self-efficacy belief, is the belief in yourself that you can overcome challenges, that you can succeed, and that your life has so much value. And the impact you're going to have through the learnings that you're having is going to be incredible. So we all cheer you on, hope the very best for you. And perhaps for some of you in your future will be a visit to Canada. As I said, we're developing a wonderful partnership with Amity. It would be my honor to welcome some of you to Canada in your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been such an honor and pleasure to hear you, ma'am. May I please invite our oldest project partners, Professor Tim Wally, OBE, Pro Vice Chancellor, Oxford Brookes University. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So I apologise for jumping the order. Like I said, the Pro Vice Chancellor at Oxford Brookes University, but being research active, one of the interesting things I'm doing at the moment is working with the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology on the financial sustainability of the sector. And they've asked me to go along at 1 o'clock to provide some evidence to them. So I apologise for jumping the queue. So I just wanted to thank the Group Vice Chancellor and Anupama for really kind of extending the warmth of the relationship to Oxford Brookes. We are one of the newer partners, I think, with Amity at an institutional level, although we have a number of colleagues that have worked and collaborated with Amity in many different ways. We have shared interests around the theme of the conference here today, thinking about the global challenges and mission-led approaches towards innovation, connecting our education and our research, both through our staff, but also through our students. As I said, the work that I'm doing at the moment, much of it's reflecting on the financial sustainability and the challenges in the sector, but that also brings with it new opportunities. It brings opportunities to do things differently. As a modern and a new university in the UK, Oxford Brookes, again, is thinking about its students and its needs, the skills we need our graduates to have as they move into the world of work. Having led the business school for 5 years and now responsible for the arts and humanities and social sciences, one of the challenges that we face is about relevance. So we have adopted and been working with the concept developed by colleagues at the British Academy, thinking about the SHAPE agenda. So what is it around social sciences, humanities and arts that really make them relevant to people and economy? We're value driven in what we do. And I think those values become particularly important. And again, hearing from Julia, I think that we need to make sure that we are values led, because that is what we need to be true to. I just wanted to share a couple of exciting developments from our end and what we're doing in collaboration with Amity. And I think that kind of reflects what we want to do more of in the future, thinking about innovation and thinking differently. Now, as many of those in the room will expect, and particularly my colleagues and peers here, this isn't about me. This is about trying to create space for colleagues to do this at Oxford Brookes, and they've done a phenomenal job. So one of the first things was, and I can never quite say this right because I don't adhere to it in its truest form, but veganuary. So thinking about what we can do about food sustainability and what that means about hunger. We've developed collaborations with Amity around collaborative online learning, and that's been hugely successful, thinking about the way we bring students together across our institutions and what that means as part of our education and management around sustainability and thinking about SDG-led education. It's about enriching and promoting global engagement and trying to do that through virtual as well as physical institutional moves. Co-curricular and really kind of competitions between our institutions as well. We've seen teams across the universities, and again, I should say, thanks to Colin, we've had support from the Association of Commonwealth Universities to enable this to happen. And again, focusing on key topics around food waste and sustainability, where both Amity and Oxford Brookes have served as a hub for wider engagement across our respective regions and countries. The final thing, and again, Anupama's commitment to what we've been doing here has been particularly important, but working to try and develop new projects, thinking about how we bring together project teams working on new SDG challenges, particularly around industry and innovation, thinking about how we get ahead of what is now the kind of mission-led approach towards innovation and innovation policy. So my colleagues like Karen Cripps and Simon Smith at Oxford Brookes have been absolutely instrumental to facilitating this relationship and making it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May we request our Group Vice Chancellor to honor him with the shawl? Once again, thank you so much for traveling all the way. Thank you. May I request our next speaker, Professor Neil Mansfield, Professor and Executive Dean, Research and International Reputation, Nottingham Trent University. We have also just signed a very significant MOU with them. Thank you so much, sir.
Of your careers and the way that innovation, business, and sustainability map together. So we're in times of uncertainty, but I think we have been for my whole life. But we know it's very clear today. And actually, it's quite difficult to build strong foundations between partners and between countries. It's really hard to do that, but what you're seeing today may make it look easy, but this is showing success. It's not showing the difficult pathway we sometimes have, but the path is there. Some of you may have climbed a mountain and maybe you had a map, you went up a path. It does not mean that it was easy, even if you have a pathway and even if you have the map. So we need tools that can make it effective. And this is where some of our partnerships are very helpful. So we need to understand how international business management works. And we have partnerships where we are teaching students with Amity. And that's part of what we signed today. So this business management is a great opportunity for building those partnerships that will keep us secure. We need to ensure that there's a strong legal framework for these global relationships. Not just for when times are good, but for when times are difficult and we need to overcome those rocky pathways. The rocky path, sometimes that can be difficult. And for us as universities, one way to do this is for us to partner, as we do with Amity, across subjects such as law. So we have a good international legal framework. That's a key part of global security. And then we need to think about how our technology will pervade across all of our communities. The tech sector isn't just within cities. There's opportunity for great impact into, for example, agriculture. This is something which will become more and more important to us. And there's such high scope for using technology to help farmers, as an example, to be more efficient and to have less environmental impact, less negative environmental impact. So that's something that we can build together to produce. And if we take the technology that we're all familiar with in our computers, this is actually manufactured from materials. Almost all of these have been mined somewhere in the world, whether it's silicon or glass, whether it's the metal or even the plastics, which may be in here. All of that's come from in the ground. And these materials do not exist everywhere in the world. So we need strong international partnerships to be able to make sure that we can still have this technology. And again, we've seen that recently with how important and how vital this must be. So if we're to embrace a sustainable planet, we've got to have this sustainable business, international connections, and we need to make sure we do that on a strong legal foundation as well as a strong technical foundation. So thank you to Amity for being an important part of that and making that possible today and into the future. And I hope we can continue to reflect on our global responsibility and our global opportunities while we continue along our pathway, which sometimes may have rocky sections within it. So thanks for the opportunity today.
Thank you so much for a wonderful address. May I request Professor Robin Banerjee, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Global and Civic Engagement, University of Sussex. And thank you so much. We have signed a very significant MOU with University of Sussex right now. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. It's a privilege. So lovely to see you again, Professor Singh. It was wonderful to be with you back 10 days back now in Delhi, and it's really lovely to be here. My first time actually visiting Amity London. It's such a pleasure to be with you. I have to say, when I looked at the topic of today's conference, sustainability, technology, management, it's bringing a lot of things together. And I thought, actually, this shows a real synergy between what Amity has been doing over the past 30 years and what also at Sussex, University of Sussex, where I arrived as a student, international student. I arrived in the UK to University of Sussex over 30 years. I thought, that is what we have been doing. So I want to talk today about building connections. That's what I think this is about. Does that work?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Because you see, when the University of Sussex was founded, can I use this?
Yeah, let me just connect it.
Oh, you're connecting it.
Yeah.
Okay. When the University of Sussex was founded just over 60 years ago, it was founded with exactly that concept. Let's work across different disciplines and bring people together. So they use this phrase. Is it working? Can we get the next slide? They use this phrase, which was, no, it's not showing there. Anyway, I'll say it. They use the phrase, we are creating a new map of learning, a new way of doing things. And we heard from all the different people who've been speaking, all our wonderful partners today, it's all about being disruptive, deliberately so, right? Creating new ways of doing things, creating new connections. And I truly believe that the education that you're all getting right now is equipping you with that ability to do things differently. And that's what Sussex was set up to do. That's what Amity was set up to do, is to think different. And that's what I think is so important. So you can see here, Professor Singh, you were talking about the library before. This is our University of Sussex library. When it was founded, it's a listed building. It was a kind of archetypal 1960s brutalist architecture. That's the label that's given. And I know there are some examples of 1960s brutalist architecture in India as well, which has been really lovely to see. Okay, but it's all about bringing things together. And when you bring things together, different disciplines, not just arts over here, sciences over there, but when you bring people together across different disciplines, when you sit up and look around and connect with other people who have different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things, actually amazing things can happen. And I think one of the really good ways that we can see this is by looking at whether you talked about the wonderful alumni from the huge number of students in Amity, right? Also, we are blessed with amazing alumni from University of Sussex. And I look at the destination, some of them stay in Brighton because Brighton is a very beautiful city. I know I'm going to be welcoming some of you in person later on this trip. Brighton is a beautiful place. Some stay in Brighton, but many go all over the world. These are some of the kinds of destinations that people go to. But I want you to notice something here, right? You've got some big multinational corporations in here. But notice also, thinking of sustainability, some of the links with like the net rewilding project, a really exciting, large rewilding project, really building opportunities to preserve our planet, to deliberately protect what we have, this amazing blessing that we all have, the planet that we're on. Or Kew Gardens, right? The culture, working for the Opera House, right? We've got all of those things together. And I think it's exciting to look at the journey that you're all going to be taking, because we don't know where you're going to end up. It's exactly, Neil, you were saying it just now. We don't know what the pathway is going to, where it's going to lead for all of you, right? But you are going to be the change makers of the future. You're going to be doing things differently, coming up with new ideas, and it will work across so many different areas. At Sussex, when I think about what students get by coming into that space, which is, if you like, disruptive by design, where you're making connections between different ways of doing things, between different approaches, actually, what you get from it is that ability to build connections. It's the ability to build those connections and to maintain and strengthen those. And we've really tried to do that here through our research. And Professor Singh, you were talking about the research partnerships that Amity has been building with the many wonderful partners that are represented here in this room. We set up, in 2023, we launched these 12 centers of excellence, and they are fundamentally challenge-oriented. These are not single subject areas, okay? Even if you take something like AI or neuroscience or education or health, they're not just about the medical school or the school of education or about the life sciences. It's actually scholars from all over the academy coming together, the arts and the sciences coming together to address these common challenges. So I was really thinking about these when I saw the topic of today's conference, this idea of sustainability, technology, management. It's all about building connections. So we've got a long history of work in AI. We've got some really cutting edge work in quantum technologies. And we've also got a long history of working in sustainability. Those are just three of the areas that we're talking about. But the key thing is that these can't be tapped into in silos, right? So I would say to every one of you, whatever subject you're studying, don't think about it as being just inside a box. So you're studying business, or you're studying computer science, or you're studying mathematics, or physics, or history, or English, whatever subject you're studying, don't treat it as being just in a box by itself. You've got to look around you and make connections. And that's what all of our researchers do. That's how world-leading research gets done. And that's how change is made. Now, I wanted to talk particularly about culture, because I think that is a really important aspect. And sometimes we neglect it. And I think we neglect it at our peril, really. So I want to give the example of one of our other research centers. It's this Digital Humanities Lab. And it's a very important partner to something which is happening right now in Brighton, okay? This is the Brighton Festival. It's England's largest arts festival, okay? And University of Sussex is a higher education partner for it. And we've long been associated with it. Do you recognize her? Anushka Shankar. She is the guest director this year for the Brighton Festival. Like I said, the largest arts festival in England, okay? And she has a wonderful, wonderful program of musical development, of course, inspired by the wonderful heritage of her father, Ravi Shankar, okay? And she has been talking about this new album, which she's just released, which is called We Return to Light. And I think it's a very positive, hopeful message that Anushka Shankar is giving at the moment. We Return to Light. That's the name of her. You know, she's done this trilogy of albums. This is the third album, right? The third one of this trilogy, We Return to Light. And I wanted to give you an example of what some of our researchers are doing alongside that, also as part of the Brighton Festival. So this happened just last weekend, okay? This was the Sussex Festival Ideas. They had on International Dawn Chorus Day, listening to the sounds of nature and using digital technology to better tap into what's going on around us and to help us make connections and to help us make positive change. This is Professor Alice Elridge, Professor of Sonic Systems, right? She's a musician. She's also a computer scientist. She uses artificial intelligence to listen to the acoustic, what would you call it? Fingerprint, if you like, of ecological systems. This is, I'm not an expert in this area, okay? But she does amazing things, dropping microphones into rainforests and listening to nature. And it turns out through AI, you can actually tap into the biological health of an ecosystem through listening. And she says something really interesting that you got here. I subscribe, this is what Alice said, I subscribe to the view that at the heart of our current ecological crisis is our false impression that we are separate, that we're separate from each other and we're separate from the rest of nature. So as well as raising awareness, she said, I wonder if the visceral experiences that artistic methods can elicit can help us feel that we are part of a wider web of life. I can think of no finer point. We're part of an interconnected web of life. And arts have a role to play in it. Digital technology has a role to play in it. And you bring those together, and that's really what's needed for sustainability. And if you scale out, or zoom out rather, and you think about what does this world need, especially when you think about the kind of global north, global south connections as well, actually, it's about partnership. And I think that's what I think Amity has done so exceptionally well and is kind of exemplified by all the wonderful speakers that we've had today, right? This is about building partnerships for an equitable future. And this was an event that I was chairing last year at Sussex in our Sustainability Research Centre. And we were asking that question, how do we build equitable partnerships? So it's not just people doing things in the global north, in the Western world, and then sort of being able to take advantage of sort of sites of experiments in the rest of the world. Actually, no. This is, and you gave the perfect example with your son going to India now as well, right? For university. This is about building true equity between the global north and the global south. Okay. So when you bring all the different research specialisms together across different disciplinary boundaries, and you bring those international connections together, that's when the magic happens. That's when we're able to really become resilient as a shared humanity developmental process. And yeah, this was just sharing the example. That was the event that I talked about last year. And I wanted to come back to, you know, Professor Singh, you knew I was going to mention this at the end. I couldn't help but end with this topic. Because I remember when I came to Amity 2 years back, I shared this. This is going from strength to strength, very unique. I helped to found this at the University of Sussex. Very unique research center. It's an interdisciplinary research center focused on kindness. You might look at this and think, well, what does that say about kindness? Well, I'm telling you, you might be thinking, well, kindness, that's not an academic subject. What does that say about kindness? Just nice, right? People to be kind to each other, but that's like extra. Well, I'm a psychologist, okay? I work with children and young people. Kindness is fundamental. And it happens at every level. It happens at the micro level just by, you know, just a smile to another person, checking in with someone. If you see out shade, are they all right? Just checking in with each other happens at a micro level. bringing someone a cup of tea, right? But it scales up as well to those equitable partnerships that I was talking about. It scales up to the international dimension. And we know there are a lot of challenges right now. Okay. It scales up to thinking about the future of the planet, the future of humanity. And I think what we've been treated to today is a reminder of building kindness into our interactions purposefully, placing attention of it, and saying that building connections with each other where we are truly thinking about supporting each other is the foundation for how we're going to get through these challenging times, how we're going to find solutions in this world. Look at the global challenges that we've been facing just in the past few weeks, right? Just think about it. I was in 10 days back in India. So many challenges, right? Right now. The way we get through it is by working across boundaries, right? Not being in a box, by coming out, making partnerships, holding kindness like that was in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words. Where will the world be without a heart? We have several distinguished partners traveling across the globe to be with us here. And I would request them to kindly come and introduce themselves briefly, along with their vision for Amity and our collaboration with them. I'll start with Mr. Aditya Malkhani, the Regional Director, the Association of Commonwealth Universities. He's traveled all the way from Mumbai, India, to be with us in London. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to Professor Singh, to Dr. Anupama, for the Amity establishment, for the kindness extended in inviting both Professor Riordan and myself here today. Amity is a university that, of course, is very, very widely acknowledged and known across the world. But I just want to highlight very briefly the impact that Amity has had on the higher education landscape in India. And I can see several students in the audience, of course, in addition to the distinguished guests. And students, I just want to say that the privilege or the opportunity of studying at Amity is really game-changing beyond people's understanding, perhaps. No, I'm not much older than many of you in the room. I'd like to think so, at least. I'm happy to give out my age and say that I finished university about 15 years ago, more or less. And you know, when I went to university, you had, of course, the option of going to some of the countries, and I went to university in Mumbai, in India. You had the opportunity of going to either a leading central university, like the University of Delhi, JNU, or you had the opportunity of going to a leading state university, like the University of Mumbai, which is my alma mater. Of course, you had private universities in existence across the length and breadth of the country. But if you went to a private university, your parents, your neighbors, your friends, everybody would start wondering whether you didn't get into a leading public university, which is why you were going to a private university. I think your university, and I'm talking mainly to the students here, has really redefined what a private university looks like, focuses on, and achieves, not just for India, but really for several parts of the world, starting, of course, with India. At the Association of Commonwealth Universities, we are very proud to have about a fourth of our membership, so about 100 members in India. My colleague, Professor Reardon, our Secretary General, of course, talked a little bit about our membership and what we do. I don't want to take too much time because I know that there's a number of people that still need to come after me. But I just want to say that in my role as Regional Director for Membership in the Asia Pacific at the ACU, I have the great honor and privilege of working with well over 200 universities across the Asia Pacific region. These include old universities, young universities, research-intensive universities, teaching-focused universities. And we're also very proud to have 2 Amity universities within our membership. We're very much looking forward to welcoming some of your other universities, particularly the newer ones, into our membership as well. And my team and I would be very, very happy to work with you to engage them. We're delighted also to have heard from a number of our UK members today, and particularly enjoyed your presentation, Robin, and especially your comments on kindness, because at the end of the day, all of us, let's say, seated in the first couple of rows, we're in the people business. People are intelligent. They're not artificially intelligent. They're really intelligent. And I think one very, very important factor that's still, and I'm going to use the word still because who knows what the future holds. One very important point to make is that the difference between the real intelligence we human beings possess and the artificial intelligence that the computers that we have created possess is emotions. And your point and your comments on kindness, I think, speak directly to that. And in many ways, I want to conclude by saying that actually the ACU, we really act as, we have a wonderful range of projects, right from offering grants and fellowships to delivering programs on behalf of governments and funding organizations that essentially focus on capacity strengthening and capacity building. And of course, we run a range of events. We have a major conference coming up in Nairobi in November this year, which will focus on the topic of resilience and renewal and how Commonwealth universities are charting the way of the future. But broadly speaking, I'd say in many ways, the main goal of the ACU really is to strengthen the work that universities do. And an important part of that is in connecting people across borders, connecting people within universities, connecting academics to other academics, connecting executive heads and leaders to their counterparts, and also facilitating an exchange of knowledge. We've run a number of different campaigns. During the pandemic, we ran something known as the Commonwealth Virtual Exchange Program, which essentially provided students who would not normally have the opportunity to travel overseas for study abroad purposes, the opportunity to enroll on this virtual learning program, which was, I'm proud to say, developed by 2 Asian universities, the University of Malaya in Malaysia and the Manipal Academy for Higher Education in India. And we had students coming from 10 different universities across 5 Commonwealth countries. We developed resources such as, you talked, Robin, also about equitable partnerships. So we're very proud to say we've invested in the development of something known as the Equitable Research Partnerships Toolkit, which actually helps researchers in the global north and the global south with a very unique and easy to use set of tools to genuinely develop equitable research partnerships. Because it's all very well to say we must develop equitable partnerships. Equitable partnerships, to my mind, are the only ones that can actually remain sustainable. But really the act of doing it needs guidance, and therefore we've developed a toolkit to this effect. And there's many other sorts of ways that we support our university. So I'm going to wrap up now because I don't want to steal more time than I've been allocated. But I just want to say thank you once again, Professor Singh, Dr. Anupama, colleagues, for having me here. And it's a real privilege. Thank you very much and look forward to your continued collaboration and partnership. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The Association of Commonwealth Universities has been instrumental in a very impactful project which talked about food sustainability and avoidance of food wastages. So thank you so much for your support. May I request now Ms. Gemma Proudly, Associate Director of Global Engagement, University of Sussex, to introduce herself briefly and talk about her vision with Amity. Thank you so much. And they've traveled all the way. It's about 3 hours from Sussex. Thank you so much for making this trip. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Gemma. I'm the Associate Director of Global Engagement at the University of Sussex. And my role really is about strengthening our partnership with Amity. At Sussex, we're really excited about continuing to work with Amity and to develop our partnership further. Our collaboration is about building meaningful, two-way, equitable connections, starting with our students, whether it's through our articulation routes, our short-term mobility, or our summer programs. We want to create opportunities for students to learn, grow, and gain global competence. As well, we want to see more of our staff connecting through exchanges and co-hosted workshops to spark innovative ideas and foster shared learning. And of course, teaching and research sits at the heart of our partnership, from guest lectures to initiatives like internationalization at home. We see great potential for joint innovation that benefits both of our communities. We're looking forward to welcoming you on campus as well in a couple of weeks, I think it is. And I'll be there to say hi to all of you again. And we're really looking forward to the future of our partnership and the impact that we'll have for our students and staff. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. We are deeply grateful to the University of Sussex team. It's a great trip has been organized for our students. Students, can we give a clap to them? May I now request Mr. Marcus Williams, Director of Student Recruitment, Admissions and International Development, Communications, Engagement and Advancement, again from University of Sussex. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to keep it short because I think Sussex have already had 2 presentations. But what a great privilege to be here. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues from Amity and from Amity's partners around the world. It really is a great privilege to be here with you. Only 10 days after Professor Banerjee and I were visiting your Noida campus. And it was my first visit to your Noida campus, indeed to the Amity ecosystem that, as we know, is truly global. And it was we received such an incredibly warm welcome from Professor Singh and his team. We're really grateful for that welcome and to be introduced to the incredible and remarkable achievements of the Amity Group in such a short space of time. It was clear to both Professor Robin Banerjee and I when we visited just how central to that Amity vision is the commitment of globalization and also then to civic engagement. And we had the privilege of peeking our heads around the Amity Theatre just to see that work in practice and that vision in practice. And we were really impressed by what we saw. We saw around about 400 school children, part of the Amity ecosystem, actively debating on matters of global importance and social change and civic engagement. And they were really getting into it too, right? So really making a difference. And so we saw firsthand how Amity is impacting not only on students such as yourself studying at university degree level, but also the next generation of students as well, and really influencing change makers in the world. And we're just about to launch a 10-year strategic plan at Sussex. I think we have a lot to learn from Amity. You've really raised the bar in terms of your global agenda. But it's really been a privilege here to be here this morning and to hear so much about what you're doing, what your partners are doing. And it really does resonate, I think, with the strategic aims that we have at the core of the Sussex strategy going forward. And at our heart, really, are three kind of key themes that Robin's already touched on: a commitment to environmental sustainability, a commitment to human flourishing and encouraging everyone to develop to the good of humanity, and finally then supporting positive and progressive digital and data futures. And when the principal of Amity London talked earlier, she said that we've got many opportunities, but also many challenges in relation to the changing face of technology, AI and sustainability. And that's also then been echoed in many of the esteemed speakers we've heard this morning. There are multiple complex challenges, but what gives me heart, I think, is that sort of globalization, that commitment to civic engagement, which is at the heart of the Amity mission and indeed the heart of the partnerships that Amity is developing with its global partners. As an Amity partner, I think we're delighted to play our part in supporting a truly global and educational experience, and we look forward very much to closer cooperation with you over the coming years. Thank you very much for inviting us.
It is my absolute pleasure to invite our partners across the globe, Professor Alistair Jarvis, CBE, Pro Vice Chancellor, Partnerships and Governance, University of London. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your patience.
Hello and good afternoon. It's a pleasure. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Absolute pleasure to join you here and to have the opportunity to speak at today's conference. Firstly, I wanted to say a big thank you to Amity University for inviting me. It's great to be here. I'm just going to spend a few minutes covering three issues. Firstly, I'm going to share some information about the University of London's role in global education, and in particular, our important relationship with Amity. Secondly, I was going to reflect briefly on the importance of technology linking to the wider theme of the conference, the importance of technology and widening access to education. And then thirdly, I was just going to mention a brief perspective on AI in education, which amazingly hasn't been a sort of big theme yet of today, but seems to be a theme for almost every event I go to. So just a few brief reflections. So the University of London's mission is to open up access to education. The university was founded all the way back in 1836 on the ideals of inclusivity, diversity and collaboration. And you'll see our mission has a real synergy, I think, with Amity's mission as well, which I think is why we have built such a good partnership. We were the first university in the UK to admit students regardless of their gender, their race or their religion. And in 1865, we first offered students the opportunity to study overseas and graduate overseas. Our first student graduated overseas in the West Indies in, said, 1865. So distance education, international education has been right in our DNA for centuries now. Today, we're the UK's most international university, and people say ban these kind of facts around, but I think I can truly say that because we have 40,000 students that are studying in 190 countries across the world. And our global alumni community numbers about 750,000 sort of living alumni now. Pretty much anywhere you go in the world, you'll find the University of London alumni. And our distance learning model means that our students learn with us, but they study and they live wherever they are in the world. We deliver University of London programmes in partnership with 17 other world-class London institutions. These are our federation members. Each of them are independent universities in their own right, but work with us to open up education across the globe. Many of our programmes are delivered online. However, a large number of students, of course, want in-person teaching, want in-person learning and support. And we've developed, therefore, a network of over 100 recognised teaching centres. And these give students access to in-person academic tutoring and a campus-based student experience. And Amity Global Institute in Singapore is a recognised teaching centre of the University of London. And we're also building a really strong collaboration with Amity University Dubai, which actually I visited just last week and met the leadership team there. As recognised teaching centres of the University of London, this means that these two campuses are quality assured to offer University of London programmes at these really impressive facilities that Amity has. And so students at those campuses benefit from Amity's excellent student facilities, your excellent support, tuition from academics on those campuses. And the students are part of the Amity student community and our University of London students. So they have this kind of fantastic dual status. I just wanted to move on a little bit to the wider role of technology and widening access to education, which I think sort of links well with the wider theme of today's conference. We develop our programs using latest research in online learning techniques and cutting edge technologies. And it's very much technology that enables our education offer to be truly global, with access possible absolutely anywhere in the world, enabling people to access the personal, social, economic benefits that a University of London education delivers. So our students have access to online resources that they need to succeed. This is, of course, the usual things like online content, tuition, there's digital student support, there's a comprehensive online library, we have a virtual reading room. We also have the University of London online career service, which allows global access to career support. There's also virtual global peer groups of students. So you can be a student studying in India or Dubai or Hong Kong or Australia or in the UK, all on the same course, and you're networked together. So you're very much a kind of global classroom. And this continues with online student societies and also, of course, an alumni network, which is truly global too. So we're really proud to bring together students, academic staff from absolutely all walks of life and from all parts of the globe into one big global community. Now, technology also supports our educational model to be highly flexible, and large numbers of our students are in full-time employment. Lots of them have caring responsibilities. This means they need huge flexibility in the programs that they study. And it is technology that allows us to support them to learn in a way that fits their lives. Our students can learn at the pace they want to. Often they learn in modular, or they learn over a number of years. They go fast at some stages and then they slow down, and they'll study intensively and then they'll have a bit of a gap. And that's very usual in our kind of model. And in this way, we help learners from all over the world to access the transformative power of higher education. Now, just lastly, I wanted to touch briefly on AI and education. It's something I've been giving a lot of thought to recently. As I've been actually traveling in the last couple of weeks, it's something that a lot of our partners internationally have been sort of talking with me about. And you know, how are we handling it? How are they handling it? I'm learning from them, and they're hopefully learning a little bit from us. And also talking to students, talking to graduates about the impact of AI on the curricula, on their learning, on the job market. And just a few very brief reflections. Firstly, I think that we need a generation that doesn't just consume technology, but builds and innovates with it. I think to be truly prepared for the workforce of tomorrow, students need a fusion of both technical and human-centric skills. And so equipping young people with both digital fluency and also critical thinking, I think, will be essential to harness AI's benefits responsibly and inclusively. So I think we need to look at core competencies like data literacy, ethical reasoning, alongside creativity, adaptability, collaboration. And I think for lecturers, for those who are teaching, they need structured training on the effective and ethical use of AI. So understanding its capabilities, its limitations, and how to integrate them meaningfully into learning. What I think we need to do for you as students is we need to help you use AI as a positive learning tool. We must show you how AI can be used as a tool to enhance rather than replace thinking. And teaching students how and when to use AI effectively, I think, will build these digital literacy and help encourage your critical analysis. So conversations around ethics, fairness, data privacy, bias in AI systems, I think, are all an important part of this. When used well, I believe that AI can help students overcome barriers and open up new opportunities to learn, to think and thrive. So I think we shouldn't see it as an enemy. I think we should embrace it, but we should embrace it critically. So that's a few thoughts on technology, access, a little bit about the University of London, a bit about AI. It's been an absolute pleasure to join you here today. So thank you again to Amity for the invitation to speak today, and really good to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your vision. I would now request Professor Stephen Williams, the Director of NTU Global, Nottingham Trent University. We must also thank the Nottingham Trent University for organizing a wonderful trip for our students. Students, can we have a huge round? Thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Is everybody still awake and still with us? I'm looking around the room. I can still see people are still with us. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much to Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, to Anupma for inviting not just one, but two Nottingham Trent University speakers along today. Our partnership with Amity University is a very long-standing one. It's built on a huge amount of mutual respect and trust over many years. And the one constant that's been with us throughout that journey is Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh. So thank you, Dr. Gurinder Singh, for your ongoing support for our partnership. So our vision of the future of the partnership with Amity University, I think, is one based upon shared values, and this is highly important. And the values that I'd like to bring to life today are the ones that we heard in the opening remarks from Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh. If you were listening at that time, and I'm sure you all were, you would have heard Dr. Gurinder Singh say that we are creating an ecosystem for students to have successful careers. And I think this is the obvious reason why you are all in this room today. I understand from my colleagues in the front that you've had 20 days in London so far. So this is a really important part of your international exposure to give you access to global careers of the future. And I'm sure you're all very aware of that. And how are you going to achieve that? Well, I think, again, Dr. Gurinder Singh told us that Amity is creating a network of companies to provide internships to show you how you can all contribute to industry. And again, I would like to think that that's something that Nottingham Trent University is also working very hard on with our students, but not just our students, with Amity students when they come to us through the different exchanges and programs that we have to offer in partnership with Amity University, just in the same way as that when we send our NTU students to Amity University in Noida, they get that same exposure to Indian industry, which is going to be hugely important for their future careers. But I missed out one very important part of Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh's opening sentence. He said, not only are we creating an ecosystem for students to have successful careers, he said, we are creating an ecosystem for students who are the most important thing for us to have successful careers. And I think that is where we really share the same values as Amity University. Students at the heart of everything Nottingham Trent University does. They are the most important thing to us as they are to Amity University. I really hope that you'll get a chance to see that in practice on the 28th of May. So coming very soon, when you come to Nottingham, you come to our campus. Our business school is going to put on a fantastic program for you, including a real focus on employability. It's an interactive program. You'll get to see why we've been ranked #1 in the UK by Students for Employability for 2 years running now. And I'm sure you will leave with added insights into how Amity University and Nottingham Trent University in partnership can develop your global careers. So thank you again, Dr. Gurinder Singh, Anupma, wherever she is, yes, for having us here today, and good luck for the rest of your stay in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are deeply grateful for all our partners for their presence here. May I request our very respected Group Vice Chancellor to please come on the dais. We would like to honor all our partners. And Dr. Lumi, please grace the dais. We'll want to honor our partners with a shawl of honor. We'll start with Professor Colin Riordan, Secretary General and CEO, Association of Commonwealth Universities. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause. Students, all of these academic stalwarts have taken time out from very, very busy schedules. So a huge round of applause after each of my shawl of honor. May I request Ms. Vicky Lester, CEO, the Case Center, to be honored by a shawl. Thank you so much. Keep the applause going, please. May I request Ms. Amy Brecker, CEO at the PI, Professionals in Education. We have a shawl of honor for Professor Julia Hodges, President and Vice Chancellor. She's very much there. So one for you, ma'am, which, thank you so much. Can we just put one there? Yes. One in absentia for Professor Kiran Trehan, Pro Vice Chancellor for Enterprise Partnerships and Engagement, University of York. She was there at the beginning, but very, very unwell. So thank you so much for University of York for your help always. For Professor Neil Mansfield, Professor and Executive Dean, Research and International Reputation, Nottingham Trent University. Thank you so much for making the time out. For Professor Robin Banerjee, Pro Vice Chancellor, Global and Civic Engagement, University of Sussex. For Mr. Aditya Malkhani, Regional Director, the Association of Commonwealth Universities. For Ms. Gemma Proudly, Associate Director of Global Engagement, University of Sussex. We have Ms. Janie Kingsley, Director of Global Business Development, University of London, please. I know you're very, but you have been a great partner and a long-time friend of the Group Vice Chancellor. Stephen Williams, Director of NTU Global, Nottingham Trent University. And Marcus Williams, sorry for keeping you waiting. Thank you. Director of Student Recruitment, Admissions and International Development. Please go. I'm sorry, but we've given. I apologize. Thank you so much, sirs and ma'am. Could you? इसके बाद वो documents. Paper presentation. We would also like to just once 30 seconds. We also would like to remind all the August gathering out here that we have a parallel paper presentation on back in India. And there are 500 papers being presented. And the session chair, Dr. Meenakshi Srivastava from Amity Lucknow, if she is there, if she may kindly put on her camera. And all of this will be compiled into a book, which has been so well supported by the Case Center. They have been supporting us all these 10, 12 years. Thank you so much. And I would request Dr. Lumi, please do the honors of delivering the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much for making the time today to join us in this conference on a topic of huge importance for us and for the time that we are living. Working together, collaborating, and creating new opportunities for our students, it's our mission. And I am strongly believe that only through very strong collaboration, networks, research, innovation, and adaptability, we will be able to remain sustainable and build a higher education which provide transformative education, but also create new research and new opportunities for our graduates to flourish. Thank you so much for making the time with your very busy schedule to come here, to be present and deliver these messages to our students as well as all the other colleagues which join us online from, all over places in India and all the other places where Amity has a presence. It was a really honor for us to have you here. Thank you.
Of course, no such a big event can happen without the support of our leadership, our very respected Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, and the London Principal, Dr. Lumi. Thank you so much. We also have the IEEE observers online. Thank you so much. We are hoping to do a conference with them in London very, very soon. And Springer, our very favored and longtime partners for your publication opportunities. Thank you once again. A conference of this level cannot happen with the support of such fantastic students that you see are filling the hall. Please see the eager, sincere faces who are so eager to help, to support. They have worked nights and days to make this possible. So I have Of course, the student committee, there are just a few names out here, but otherwise the student committees who are taking care of the IT behind me, the escorting team, the IT team, and of course the India team of the publicity team, the IT team, the IAD team, the SAP team, the GVC office, the team AIBS, and of course all the students of all the institutions who are represented here. Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause?
That students and ABS students also.
Yes. So all the fantastic students who are here. So students of AIBS, ABS, ASSET, ASCO, all the institutions are so well represented here. Forgive me if I missed out any. All the institutions of Family Amity University. Thank you so much. With your permission, we'd like to close the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, well done. Okay, great job. Come on.